something nice, man. You put it right here in the middle of everybody.
Well, that's what we got too. I'm short one more for the third.
Yeah, you should have told me, bro. And you can keep it, bro, because I only use it to play. Like when I have meetings, I just use it to sound just like this. You can keep it.
How you come out with that panel?
Which one, Lord?
The guy called me yesterday.
Sincere and your son?
Yeah.
No, it's like because the guy was gonna do it. He just had he was telling me about his transportation. And it was like, man, it needed to be done like right then and there. It was a nasty situation though, God.
No, I'm saying you got it done though.
Oh well, it ain't completely done, but we got the parts and stuff, and the brother gonna go out there tomorrow.
Oh. Yeah, he had shot me a picture of it. I said I would have knocked it out.
Man.
I would have went out there and did that
So
shit.
he told me don't call you because you be too busy. Because he said because of the urgency that I have and the schedule that you have, don't bother you. And I said, okay.
Nah, right.
He said, man, the guy too busy. You need it right now. Just leave him alone. He said, you can call his, you definitely call his son. And so then we called the guy. He like, man, you know, guy, transportation, woo woo.
Nah, you can call me whenever you need.
What's up, drinking, guy?
Somewhere. You want a cup?
No, sorry, let me run outside real quick.
Yeah, God, you can call me whenever you need me, God. I come right at you.
Listen, Lord, I just signed a $1.7 million contract in Easter. So I got plumbing, electrical. God, if you can paint, do drywall, I got like super duper projects. And then on the side, they call me with these odd shits like, the sister, you know what I'm saying? Like every meeting they have where people go complain, they gonna call me. True, go through this drywall. True, go do this. True, go do this. God, look. Let me show you something. This Inkster alone. What is one quick book say? This Inkster alone, God. And this a little bit of this year. It's probably about maybe 15% of this year. And this is last year. Look. This Inkster alone, God.
Oh, that's right, baby.
No, God. That's just in a week. I'll show you something. I'm trying to X that off. God, that's Inkster alone. We did $500,000 last year. And we signed a $1.7 million contract. Like I'm, when it comes to this contract and shit, God, I'm learning as I go. I'm gonna do the flows and the planks and the paint and the drywall and shit to God. Electrical and plumbing, it ain't my lane, so I gotta call and outsource.
Yeah.
You wanna bring some weed?
Yeah.
Ain't no question. That's a question you never gotta ask again. What's that flame go?
I'm gonna get started in a minute. Ready? Wait till he come back in.
Yeah, we gonna take all come back. So is y'all against me?
I'm not messing with you, man. It's about to go down.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I sound kind of static in here. Hey yo man, can you turn the mics on, man? 1 2 1 2, and I say, party people, your dreams have now been fulfilled. Get out your seats and let's get ill. Yo, I'm sounding kind of staticky in this joint. Pardon the maybe this. Your volume.
No, I just got your mic up.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace. Yo, goddamn, that's loud.
It's too loud?
Yeah.
When stop.
Peace, 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 peace. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there.
Check,
This
check,
sounds
check.
good. Yeah, mic check, 1 2.
Check, 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 check. And then we're gonna have you swing over.
Yo, peace.
Oh yeah, we good. Yeah, I'm good right there.
Good.
Yeah, I can modulate. You can really slide back a little bit. Now, let me see. Right there, right there. Yeah,
We're gonna go back and forth anyway.
Okay.
You know, I push it over. Ain't no problem.
Okay. Make it make sense.
Kind of just throw the topic on the guard and shit.
No, man. Hey, definitely.
We gonna let you build and introduce yourself and shit too, God, before we jump into the topic
No,
and
man,
shit.
jump into the topic.
You know.
No, stop that shit.
Jump into the topic, man. I ain't got time. Hey, listen, though, God, definitely tap in though this week, bro. I got some shit for you, man. I got some studio shit for you.
God, let's do it. Let's do it. Man.
I've been sitting around procrastinating.
You cannot go around and through to get to my father. He and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect. Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Not be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sun's in sight, katana swore me my call. I fast to meditate upon that ass like we're hard. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
You cannot go around here through me to get to my father law, but he and I are one the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect. Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Not be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the
God. I'll tell you in a second. Peace to the gods and the earths. It's the God and Earth Hour podcast, man. Y'all know how we do, man. Peace to everybody. What's happening? Yo, peace, man, to the gods and the earths, man. It's your brother, Minister Freedom Allah, man. I got my man IC in the building, man. We also got a special guest up in here, man. My man True Johnny. Peace to the God. What's happening? So look, man. For anybody that's just hopping in with us, man. If this your first time tuning in to the live stream, man, welcome to the God on Earth Hour podcast, man. No matter what platform you tuning in with us, if you on Instagram, if you on YouTube, if you on Facebook, we want to give y'all a good peace. Yo, peace to everybody out there, man. I seen some folks telling us peace in the comments. Peace. I'm one of your hosts, man, Minister Freedom Allah, man, and I'm checking in from the great city of Mecca, and we broadcasting as usual. Of course, y'all know I got my man IC in the building. Let me bring him up to the stage. IC, you want to greet the people, God?
No doubt. Peace, family. We want to say peace to everybody. Welcome back for another episode. You know what I'm saying? I think we got a good one for y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? Ready to get dug in real good. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna introduce y'all to the God right here. You know what I'm saying?
Peace to the God.
Peace. How it sound, God?
Go
It's
ahead.
good.
You sound good, God.
All right,
Peace
man.
to the God.
Just happy to be here, man. True Johnny Allah on the scene. Here to build with the gods, man.
Peace,
These
God.
intelligent beings, man. I hope I'm ready.
Oh yeah, God, you good? I think I done messed up the God's screen real quick. Fix it. There we go. Yo, peace.
We gonna make it happen tonight.
Yeah. I think y'all are gonna enjoy yourself tonight, man. We definitely gonna make it happen.
It's always good to have company, you know?
Yeah, it's always good to have company in the building. It's always good to have, somebody adding on to the cipher, man. And, today, man, if you didn't see the title headline already, man, y'all know me and my man IC, we like to push the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know we ain't got no problem asking the tough questions and going through the tough science that most brothers and most people stay away from, man. So what we talking about is, the science of evolution. Okay, is evolution a fact or a myth? What is the science? Did man come from monkeys? I mean, what's going on? What's going on? IC was eager to get to this one. Like, Hey, yo, we been having a little scientific battle and shit going on. I mean, just in the background.
You know, I'd be interested to see where the guys be coming from. You know, what they be saying, what they be saying. You know, we all use some type of a science or whatnot to show and prove. You understand? And so I just like to see where the guys be coming from when they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? I got a few different, you know what I'm saying, ideas or whatnot. You know, I like to share mine. I like to, you know what I'm saying, dig into the minds of my A-likes. Word, you know what I'm saying? And see what I can discover from them.
Word. Peace to the God. Peace to the God. As well as God, and we say this all the time, you know, as gods and as educators, as scholars, as thinkers, as men of knowledge and wisdom, bro, we here to the test of any scholarly challenge. I think it's the job of us to be willing to step up to the plate and be ready to show and prove on any given subject, any given bill, any given thing at any time or any place. So, you know, I mean, I think it's up to us to be the ones to show, to what we say, show and prove. You know what I'm saying? Show and prove, God. So, but before we do that, I do want to get a God, notice the God's first time on the show with us. I do want to get a God an opportunity to introduce himself, introduce where you from, you know what I mean, what you do, and all of that good stuff. God, come on, man, if you don't mind, real quick, True Johnny. Yeah, I got to.
All right, man. Well, you know, happy to be here with the guys, man. True Johnny Allah. I'm from Detroit, man. You know, West Side, Puritan. I got knowledge in the belly. You know, I know you say you want to build with me on that. You know, that's pretty
God,
deep.
Let's go through your history, God. You don't believe, man.
Master God Khalik Allah, 2010.
Peace, God.
You know. No. So, you know, came home from the belly 2016, started an organization called the Cream Incorporated. Straight at the first degree, God. You know, the best part of the planet Earth. And I just felt genuinely inside my heart when I was in the being that the best part is the intellectualism and the camaraderie that we have in the urban community that we just don't really tap into. You feel me? So I felt that there was a lot of ideas, like a lot of people that was like pseudo business owners, that if we came with the organization that provided the resources that the man had or that the other side had for free, that we can get ahead.
God, hold on. I feel like that, you know, you was breaking down the name of your organization in the acronym right there, and I don't think you quite, you know what I'm saying, finished that up. So I kind of want to hear that name right there. That sounded kind of fresh to me, you know. So why don't you finish that thought?
All right, guys. So, you know, naturally it came out the first degree, God. Who was the original man? You know, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father, civilization, God of the universe. And so when we say cream of the planet Earth, we're talking about the best part. And if you look at culture today, and you look at what strive culture to what it is, whether it's R&B, whether it's clothes, man, whether it's like just the narrative, it comes from the places that we shun and places that we say ain't really nothing, you know. And so I felt that when you look at milk, man, and you place it on the fire, you know, you place it on that mechanism, it causes the cream to rise to the top. And so we start in the places that have the most struggle and adversity, and this is where we find the most creativity and the most artistic and beatific mindsets to bring things into existence. So we focused on business, we focused on LLCs, S-corps, non-profits, and just taking what people may think is owning a business or, you know, moving a certain way in the community into really tapping into that realm.
Peace to the God.
Peace, God.
Peace to the God, man. I like that, and God, I like that, man, and I admire that, God, because, you know, you, one of the reasons I always admire you is, God, being able to, you know, take something, you know, take knowledge from, even if it's the roughest places, God, and still be able to show forth and prove the best part, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of brothers, and I see a lot of brothers that they struggle making that transition, right? That they struggle going from getting knowledge in a where I would say in a place that I don't want to say is you know, the most convenient or the most ideal place to get knowledge, but then, you know, even getting knowledge in there where you can focus on it and get it and get into it, but then coming home, a lot of brothers have trouble making that jump to being righteous and making the teachers walk and talk, God, in the free cipher, man. So I definitely commend you on that, God. So
just to add on to that, God, you know, because I think one thing that's important is to understand. So in the belly God, you have this mantra, and you know I can only talk about Master Islam. I'm not going to talk about Michigan. I can't talk about Now Why or any place else because I only did time in Michigan. And I see can attest to this, man. Like in the belly, it's just a mantra of 120. You know, like do you know 120? You know, and it's just like. You gain 120, right? But rarely, it's 5% within the 5% that's going to take this 120 and put it within their DNA and create that 360, right? Because we got to understand that 120 is only 1/3 of the completion, right? So the culture is what? Black man, woman, and child. Well, the first thing we got to understand is that inside of the belly or inside the prison, there is no woman and child, right? And so the discord or the problem that a lot of brothers have is that they feel within the belly that they are whole. You know, like, hey, I'm just I got it, I'm walking, I'm talking. And we know within the culture, man, you ain't nothing unless you walk and talk, right? And so a lot of brothers are scared to come home. Like one thing they be, well, man, I forgot the 120, I gotta come home. And I mean, and they gotta understand, like, I've seen it. Like obviously, being a 5%er, God, nation of God's on earth, like guys are definitely gonna test you and make sure you are who you are. But I mean, ain't nobody knocking you down because you forgot something. God, we just gonna be, hey, God, get back in the lab, study, and just draw it back up. But a lot of brothers in prison, like, kind of forget that mindset. And to me, it's a toss up, man. Like people say it's easier to get, the 120 on dome in the free cipher as it is in the interior cipher, but I'm gonna say, man, like the 5% isn't popular inside of prison. Like they're serious and we're not to play games with, but at the end of the day, it's not popular, right?
In Michigan.
What are you talking about? You God. You in a situation where this person, just been snapped out of reality and he's looking for something to lean on. And here we are talking about, man, you gotta lean on yourself. And you gotta, draw it up yourself. So, hats goes off to brothers that actually, gain this knowledge. Not to mention you have other religious organizations that, say condescending things and try to talk down on the Father. And, so brothers that get knowledge inside the belly, man, hats off. But like the guy said, being able to make that correlation with understanding that in prison you can only truly get 120 of the knowledge because there is no woman and child, right? So you got to come home and walk with gods and talk with gods and see how they interact with their earths and see how they interact with their children, and you have to draw that up, and then only can you, walk in the light of that, man. Like that's important, and like that's the discord, you feel me? Because guys don't do that.
No. Peace to the God. So we got any questions coming in there? We're going to get ready to jump off into this topic.
Not just yet. No questions just yet.
But that was positive, God. I like that. We're going to come back. We're going to come back through some more of that history, too.
That was
come back through some more of
that
history.
Yeah, and like the guy said, because I know I know my brother is ready to go through this topic. So for anybody who just joining us, if you just hopping on the live, man, tonight we talking about evolution. Is it a fact or is it a myth? You know what I'm saying? It's something that me and IC and I know the guys and just the guys in general, we like to dialogue about, right? We like to ask questions, we like to ponder it. So, just into that, IC, and I don't mind getting the bill going. Now the science is, modern evolution or the theory of evolution, as we would say in the terms of like what Darwinism, and other so-called scientists, they deal with the theory of evolution. Just saying that what most evolution scientists will say is that we the humans, that the humanoid or the Homo sapien comes from the common ancestor, or that we all have a common ancestor, at least from my study of it. And then that the biggest issue that I always hear with it is the thing with us having a common beginning with primates. You know what I'm saying? At least that's where Darwin's understanding with from monkey, right? Absolutely, where you had the ape-like man or the ape-like creature, the so-called ape-like creature, that they use that, or to try to say they use that as a link for man's common historical ancestor to attribute to his development in the nowadays. So my position on it, God, my see on it is that, you know, I don't think, nor do I bear witness that we come from primates. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like to deal with, you know, the science, of course, as we taught in our teachings, where we deal with the science of the triple stages of darkness. And like what you were saying earlier, I see that the original man, that like we say, the Nation of Islam has no beginning or ending. It is older than the sun, moon, and stars. Now, I can see that, and I'm with that. All I would be dealing with, and all this, my biggest thing with it is that when I always heard evolution, what I always went to was that this was the science of man making us making our transition from a gaseous to a liquid to then now a solid state. You know what I'm saying? So for me, in a simple form, when I think of evolution, I think of development. I think of, you know, the sperm cell being implanted in the woman, and then inside the woman nurtures that sperm cell until 9 months we then here with a physical body. So for me, I always dealt with it as, you know, the gas being the thought inside the original man's mind, which then transfers into a liquid and then grows and develops in 9 months into a physical child. Now, for me, that would be the equivalent of the understanding of saying that this process took place over trillions of years, in that same type of fashion. You know what I mean? So that just was my thing. However, I don't necessarily see like with the whole primates thing. Now, I see, if you can, God, please add on, because I know your position may differ a little bit from mine, God, and you're more than welcome to come on and add on with it.
Well, God, you know, when you as you build, and I hear what you're saying, you know, I don't think that we differ too much. However, you know, the first thing is that what needs to be addressed is that, you know, Darwin didn't come up with the idea of evolution. You know, and we have to keep in mind that it's you know, Darwinism has had such a hold on the word evolution, and it has been such a taboo in the world of academics to ever even speak against evolution, to the fact that when you speak on evolution or even say the word evolution, is synonymous with Darwinism, and that's not right and exact, because you have different theories. Evolution, well, Darwinism, even I'm in the habit of it. But Darwinism is a theory of evolution. Evolution is a broad science, and Darwinism is a narrow brush in the broad painting of evolution. So we have to keep in mind that when we're speaking about Darwinism, we're speaking about that particular theory.
True.
And it's all a theory. You know, and when you speak about Darwinism and you use Darwinism to make that your standard to show and prove the creation of life, you can't go outside of saying that man came from monkeys. True. Now, from my understanding, just to keep things simple, Darwinism, from my understanding, can give you an explanation of how you could have the density of hair or fur to go from one texture to another. Like, would he use the dodo bird?
Yeah.
And he used the beak of the dodo bird, and it was one particular bird, or specimen of the bird, that had a beak of maybe 3 inches or whatever, and these measurements are not precise. You know, don't quote me on in regards to what were the measurements and what he was saying.
Thank you.
The measurements of the beak were, but you had one that was 3 inches and one was 3 3/4 of an inch, and this showed evolution. You understand what I'm saying? And that may be true on the scale of seeing how, you know, you have one hair texture that, you know, evolves into another hair texture, but it doesn't explain how a cow evolves into a sheep.
Well,
Come on, God. I know you.
So-
I knew you was over there.
I'm
you
sorry.
was over there looking itching.
I'm
To come
sorry.
on to get it. Come on, God.
And listen, man.
That's why I didn't tell you the topic. Cause I wanted
Yeah, because look,
Come on,
I mean,
man,
okay, so
yeah.
look, respect, right?
Come on, God.
But when I look at Darwinism or any type of explanation of where we came from, this is only the microcosm of the macrocosm. Because if we're going to talk about the student enrollment, before we start talking about any part of the teachings, then we have to enroll in the narrative of what we're looking at, right? It has no beginning. So first of all, we can't even talk about no creation. Like, time is what? The measurement of motion. So if we're talking about the creation of a baby, then okay, we're talking about a 9-month scale, and we're going to talk about how the embryo turned into the fetus and so forth, and how these things take form, right? We're talking about the original man that has no beginning or ending. Like, there always has been masculine and a feminine dominant principle that comes together to bring something into existence, which we call understanding. So we talk about the nation, right, of Islam, right? We ain't talking about the brothers that started 1914, 1906. We're talking about the nation of peace, right? And what is peace? The black man, woman, and child. So we're talking about the 1, the 2, and the 3. And so I can't really focus on Darwinism. I mean, it is no beginning nor ending.
Please, God, yo. See, this is an example of why we, we educate the brother before we come in here. He done came right in and just smashed the whole rug of that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? True indeed. Listen, guys. That's peace. That's peace. I love it.
But now, God, listen, and even me. That's why I was saying. That's what I was saying even just earlier. That, I'm not saying that you were referring to the origin and or the creation of the original man. My thing is, God, when I seen it, as well as when we came in contact with the teachings, as I immediately seen it, okay, this is referring to the manifestation of the original man in the physical form on this planet. Like, even what, like, I don't know that God's name, and I never met the God. However, he the God, my man Inf Mecca, the God gets a video on the God page where it was an older God and what Fakim Allah was building in law school, and the God dropped it. He gave the understanding that he gave, just fucking opened the door for me, God, to where I was just like, you know what I'm saying? God damn, just in terms of the understanding of it all. And where the God went was, he went to the 10th degree in the 1 through 40, where it talk about the original man has searched for trillions of years, and I seen somebody just say it in the comment, just saying who just said, who was that? Somebody just said in the comments, searching for a mystery God for trillions of years equals triple stages of darkness. That's where the God went, where he was saying, when you see man like monkey, or what they call Zinzanthropus, or the Homo hominid, in the different stages of the man, where the God went was, he was saying that, that those, when you find those different stages of the physical body of man, that those were equivalent to the triple stages of dark, to the trillions of years, to man searching and learning how to become the man that we are today. Meaning that man had to, that if we saying that we've been on this planet for 66 trillion years, that man had to learn how to breathe oxygen. We had to learn how to walk upright. We had to learn how to communicate. We had to learn which tools to use, which tools not to use, what to eat, what not to eat. So that would be then consistent with the work of like Richard Leakey, and that's what I was talking about earlier, when he talked about where the difference that he made in between the different skeletal remains that they have found in Africa that represented different periods of time, that those skeletal remains could be differentiated based off of what? The brain development. How one stage of that man had the ability to use certain tools, and then you see another stage be able to use advanced tools where you start to, and you can line that up to where the time periods where you can see advanced paintings at paintings and descriptions of the land, descriptions of the animals, to where you can see the man moving things from one part to another part. So and again, God, I'm just dealing with, we know that the mind and that mathematics has no beginning or ending. We know that. Now,
however, God, when you use those type of things as markers, this is exactly what you're saying, because this is how they use their markers of civilization.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And they're going to give it a birth record. And they're going to use the science of evolution, the science of Darwinism, pardon me. They're going to use the science of Darwinism to show and prove these things. You know what I'm saying? They use the chronological record based upon Darwinism to show and prove the histories of civilization.
No question. Come on, guys.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the mathematics and the teachings, right? Right? Like, let's make the correlation, though. Because they using this, right? But when we talk about what our duty is, right? To civilize, to teach, whatever. And we are doing that. This ain't, I ain't saying that. But I'm saying, like, when I think about Darwinism, or when I think about evolution, like the guy was talking about, the triple stages of darkness. What's that? Self-creation, right?
True.
Hey, knowledge, God. Like, when I first read it, I wasn't thinking about, like, the earth coming into us. It's like I was in the triple stages of darkness. I was fighting with that. You know what I'm saying? I started looking at the teachers like, not why was Musa having a hard time civilizing the devil? Why did True have a hard time stopping smoking these cigarettes? Why did True have a hard time dealing with anger? Like, I began to internalize, like, the aspect of what these things meant. And so I'm just saying, like, for me, when we talk about where the black man came from and these things of that nature, like, it's peace. I'm just like, when I deal with Darwinism and, talking about, like, hey, it just has no beginning and nor ending for me. So when I put it into perspective, I'm talking about how do I take the teachings or what we're talking about and make it relevant for my day-to-day basis or what I got going on. You see what I'm saying? Like,
ain't no question, God. I think that that is really to anybody that's at this level, in my opinion, this will be high science in what we talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're not doing that, you can't even really sit at this table. You know what I'm saying? These are just the conversations the gods go through. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, and then too at the other to your point as well, God, in terms of teaching, in terms of the conversations that we having. What we had to know is, God, these the questions that the youth asking, in my opinion. Like, all this shit, the flat earth, the evolution, religion, as God and as the saviors of the people, God, we got to be able to break this shit down at no limit of time, God. I find too many gods that it ain't that we don't have an understanding, but we can't go through it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, it should be no reason that the true and living God, with the science of everything in life, can't stand on the podium, God, and have debates at Harvard or Yale about any other scholarly topic.
Mm-hmm. Word is peace, God. And this is one of the reasons why I say Darwinism don't stand up. Because Darwin had Darwin had no understanding of DNA.
No, and God, not God. I agree with you on that. Go ahead.
Hold on, God.
Go ahead.
Because you can only get a seed from a seed, God. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Everything reproduces after its own kind. You understand?
Yeah.
So you have coding in the DNA. The coding in the DNA predates everything in regards to the biology. You know what I'm saying? And especially when we're talking about the evolution of the biology. What it was going to be was already written in it beforehand.
So you saying we can push Darwinism out by just understanding that if it's things that exist within the black man, woman, and child that is in the universe, right?
No doubt.
And the universe was here before monkeys, right?
No doubt.
Then we ain't come from no damn monkeys.
Well, and now, God, this what I was about to say.
I mean, that's
This
a
what
simple aspect of it.
now. This what I was gonna say to you and somebody in the comments that was saying that said the original man has no birth record. And I agree with that because we've been throwing. I think that's something that's gonna get tossed around in this conversation.
Mm-hmm, no
However, the physical body does have a birth record.
Nah.
But it's your birthday, guys.
No, show and prove it. Where is it at?
What?
I was born in 84.
No. Okay, I'm with you, God. I'm with you, and that's keeping it simple, God.
Right.
That's
No, I mean, and
Hold on, because the guy said
that was
the guy
my
said the
point
youth.
in that.
The guy said the youth are asking these miraculous questions.
I
Then
wouldn't even
break
say
it back
miraculous.
down. Hold on. No.
The God said this is the high science, though.
No,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
even-
But
I
God,
wouldn't even say
listen.
miraculous
Listen. If we do the math today, we're not leaving it at the wisdom bill. We gonna break it down, God.
Yeah, no doubt. We
Right?
going through it.
So if he talking about religion, we just gonna bring it all the way back down. So listen, my man, these are things that came out in certain times to control the certain community. Like you're an original man, so like we gonna kill religion and talk about self, like talk about what's inside of you. So we're not even about to talk about if the Bible is true or if the Quran is real and right and exact. Like no, we gonna talk about the virtuous principles within the book and how they can make you a better man. So it's like if they do come with these questions, we still breaking them down to they simplest term, bro. So like when he come in, well, what happened for? Listen, brother. First of all, you was born in such and such, such and such. Like this is the history, right? Like the only thing we're trying to camaraderise and fortify is that you're not that person that was running when they talk about Black history from the '60s. No, you greater than that, man. Like you have no beginning nor ending. Like once we establish that, right? It's no point to really fantasize about what happened before our birthdays, God. And we're talking about math and what we can prove. You got fact or myth, right?
Yes,
if it cannot be proven, God, is myth.
Come
Peace,
on,
God,
come
peace,
on,
God.
I see.
Okay, now I'm with you on that. But one thing, keep in mind, you know, and I got to go here just on the strength. We talking about educating the youth and keeping it simple and bringing it to them, God. And when we give them our lessons, you know, they become a student enrolled. And one of the first things that they get in their lessons is who was the original man. And then we teach them after you know how to wisdom them lessons, you have to come to an understanding of them. And the way you come to an understanding of them is you learn how to break them down. And when we learn how to break them down, we take them from the rooter to the tutor, from knowledge to born, right? So the first thing it says, who is the original man? The answer said the original man is. So the Asiatic. Before we get to that, the original man, the origin
Man, right. Ooh, peace, God. Nice.
we got to take him into it.
Nice.
We have to
Peace,
be able
God.
to know
We
these
have
sciences
to.
and take it to them.
Yes.
It's not taking them out of the atmosphere of what it is they dealing with as the reality of today.
Well, and then God, listen. Let me say this. Let me say
There
this
is
too.
no origin.
Hold on, God.
No.
I see.
It's the science.
Let me say this, God. This is what I was about to say too. This is what you got to remember. Other scientists and other archaeologists have came along, God, to further the work of other people who have done work in the field of archaeology,
No question.
in the field of to where the Charles Darwin didn't have access to the skeletal remains that we have access to now, nor did he have access to the science of radiocarbon dating.
No doubt.
You feel what I'm saying? So the evidence that we have these very, very old skeletal remains in the continent of Africa that can be genetically linked to us as a common ancestor, God. We can't ignore this archaeological evidence.
We can go deeper than that, though, God, because we talking about Africa, God. That's a sub-science to the galaxy,
No
God.
question.
However, that really has no bearing on the understanding when we're talking about dealing with Darwinism and what it is that he taught and whether or not it's fact or myth.
Well, we know
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, we can all agree that
It's
what
myth.
Darwin taught was bullshit.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
No question. However, the understanding of the science of evolution, God, has some scientific merit.
It does. However, not when you're talking about large scale
God, it's
history
the narrative
of
of what we're
specimens.
talking about evolution, though, God, because we all agree that the
Embryo evolve into the fetus and let the fetus evolve into the baby. That's evolution, right? So it's all about the narrative when we're talking about evolution, right?
Well, that's where I was going with it.
That's why I
Yeah.
said in
Peace,
the
God.
beginning that we have to understand that Darwinism basically has co-opted the word evolution.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, and again, it's about the narrative, right? Because if we're gonna talk on Darwinism in regards to the sub processes of things, right? Then you're right. An embryo do turn into a fetus, and a fetus do turn into a baby. But
that's not
we
evolution,
can't.
God. That's not evolution based on Darwinism.
It's evolution based on the life of a human being. But at the end of the day, it's not evolution based on creation.
Well, because and even that's my thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's a bigger talk.
I would beg to differ on that.
Because I think based off of what we teach, God, we're more aligned to the science of evolution than creationism. Would you agree? I would disagree. I think that majority of guys on Earth use Darwinism to show and prove the black man being God.
And I'm gonna stand there and say you can't show.
Well, God, hold on. So wait.
If you're gonna strive to bring to me the science of all life coming from a single cell organism, amoeba developing, that's evolution based on Darwinism.
Okay, so nothing. Okay, so dig this, God.
I like what somebody said in the comments on Instagram.
Nothing is autonomous.
Evolution and Darwinism are two different things.
Ain't no question. So dig right. Nothing is arbitrary. Everything is relative. So if it has no beginning or nor ending and is relative, then there always has been a masculine principle that amalgamates with a feminine principle to bring what the father say the best part, understanding into existence. And if we want to talk about the original man and just being the first, right? All we gotta do is go back to the creation. Nobody disagrees that everything that we looking at right now started as a small speck in the galaxy. So if the original everything that we looking at started as a small speck in the galaxy. Okay, another convo. Okay, well, I mean, we can get on it. No, I ain't talking about no Big Bang Theory. I'm just talking about, okay, was the Earth in different forms than it is now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm talking about. So if creation or some type of evolution with the Earth is going on up there, right? And we simply talking about bones in Africa and artifacts over in the Sudan, then what I'm saying is if everything came from the evolution or the transformation or amalgamation in the galaxy, and we have the black man, woman, and child organisms and germs up in the galaxy, then there's nothing else to really talk about.
Hold on real quick, God. I'm gonna go to some of the comments. I like this one, man. Peace to District 120 Music, man. He said, what if they are referring to the... Hold on real quick, God. Real quick. I ain't gonna come one time. I will come back. Yeah. I'm gonna keep coming, God. The God, we definitely gotta keep the God up.
And be like, yeah. So, and then don't come back. I'm back, bro.
Look, so District 120 Music said, what if they are referring to their origin or evolution from out of the original black man? Not everyone as a whole, and that's why they get thrown off applying their evolution to self. Peace, God. I like that. I'm with you. Well, that's basically what. Well, God, that's basically
etymology.
That's basically
what is black man, God?
No doubt. Well, I would even say the science is going to the original man. The original man. Even that's where it's at, and even that's where I was going, God. That when I like what that God broke down. That if we understand, for one, we know that it's already so much science to show forth and prove that the science of the Neanderthal is a mutation. Okay. So we know off bail that the science of the European, the science of the colored man, this is the effect of grafting. That's the byproduct of grafting.
But God, let's put this in narrative though, God. Like, because if we gonna break this down, right? And I think the problem be when we talk about trying to understand the origin of a man, right? Then the simplistic aspect is that your mother had sex with your father. But let's go deep, right, and break it down. What does black and what does man mean? Like, let's look at the etymology of these words, right? We talk about original. We talk about the first. We talk about black. That's dominant, right? Mm-hmm. Are we going to argue that man don't mean mine?
Man does mean mine.
So what was the first dominant mind? That's what we focused on. What was the first dominant mind?
Absolutely, God. And I could see that. Even like 17 said on YouTube, man. Almighty God said the child must go through the birth record. Once we were a gas, liquid, and a solid. You know what I mean? Which is back where I was going earlier, God. Just in the terms of it, that when I seen it, I knew that Charles Darwin was a racist.
Ain't no question.
That Charles Darwin, yo, God, word is bond. Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Charles Darwin was a racist.
You gotta paint a picture, God.
Right? Charles Darwin was a racist.
I thought he was a scientist.
God, no, hell no.
He was.
God, hold on.
Scientist, God.
Don't make me pull up his quote, God, because I'll pull up his quote.
He was a
Let me
racist
say this.
scientist, God.
When you deal with the branch of science called evolutionary biology, and they have a science, that's the science.
Yeah, ain't no question.
They're all Darwinists, God. Anybody that's dealing with science or biology in the world of academics are Darwinists. There's no way around it. All you got to do is challenge Darwinism in the world of academia.
Yeah.
I don't care where you come from. Challenge Darwinism in the world of academia and see what happens to your career.
Because I don't really understand what you're saying, guys. So are you saying that people
that's right.
People
Peace.
that
Peace, Nadir Salim. I'm with you on that.
Are you saying that people that attach themselves to the Big Bang Theory adhere to the Darwinism theory? Because that's in academia.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Big Bang is in academia,
It
right?
is.
And so that's
It
not
is.
necessarily going with the Darwinism, right?
No, it's
Because
not.
listen, the
It's
Big
not.
Bang is going to
It's
say
not.
this, right? Whatever organism or what was ever going on when it happened in the beginning, we can see replications of it now, right?
Word.
And so look at the asexual creatures that we have around. Nobody want to talk about that.
That's because that's not the standard. That's an exception to the rule. That's not the rule.
Nah, God, listen to what I'm saying. If these things exist, then at some point, these things exist.
Ain't no question.
If there's creatures that don't need to touch another creature to amalgamate and give birth, we have to shine some light on it.
But I mean, we can. It is safe to say that, God, that those creatures are what are an anomaly. Those creatures are mutation.
Now,
in general,
God.
Okay, I mean, that's how those
things came from
that's
the
how those
original man.
creatures.
God, how can you call it that?
Well,
that's
God,
all I'm saying.
Well, because you have certain random processes in nature. You know what I mean? You
You just said man means mind.
It's too many it's too many creatures that do it, though, God.
You just said man means mind.
True indeed.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you go into the science of mind, God, and you start speaking about terms of masculine and feminine, you're talking about energies. You're not talking about a man and a woman. You're talking about energies.
Okay, so
that you're describing as
so
masculine.
are you saying that there's
and feminine.
organisms that don't exist that don't contain both? What is an atom?
We're talking about.
I mean,
either we're talking about a man, or a woman.
Yeah.
We're talking about. No, I'm about to tell you.
You said energies, God.
Oh, okay. Now they all possess energy.
Absolutely.
You have the essence of it all is energy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you have to have the energy, and energy in its essence exists on a plane of, if you want to say, negative and positive.
Okay.
Or
masculine and feminine.
Or the outgoing and the incoming.
Masculine and feminine.
However you want to term it, God. They're different levels. What I'm saying, but one produces the other. You know what I'm saying?
The other.
I mean, well, actually, they both harmonize to produce.
To amalgamate. They can become one within themselves. Because the egg doesn't need to get with the sperm to become a full developed egg.
However, God,
the sperm don't need to get with the egg to become a full developed sperm. But when they become fully developed, they amalgamate and produce what? A healthy baby. Now, if one is not fully mature, you get something that's defective.
You was just going into a androgynous being. That's what I thought you was going into.
No, it's masculine and feminine principles, God. You went to the energies.
And however, those energies would exist in the body. And when they exist in the body, one is going to dominate the other, and that's going to determine what it is.
Ain't no question. I mean, we not arguing that. All I said is it exists asexual creatures.
Well, and
roaches don't have sex.
We both said that.
Seahorses don't have sex.
And God, that's what I was about to say.
Don't have sex.
what we're saying is, number one, that is that particular type of species, and number two, it is not the norm. And we're talking about.
So you say
we're
it's
talking
not
about
the norm for these two energies to obtain one space?
We're talking when we're generalizing things. We're you're bringing it down to specifying it to one particular rarity.
No, I'm just saying if everything came from an original man, God, it's somewhere in that DNA. You spoke about DNA in the beginning. DNA is a coding, so there's nothing that exists in the coding that don't exist in us if everything came from us, God.
I don't bear witness to it being no physical man and not being no woman. Me, myself, personally.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because for the man to exist, some masculine had to get with the feminine to bring these into existence. But
so you have to emphasize the fact that when you're saying
so are you saying you don't bear witness that roaches don't have sex with each other?
I'm saying I'm not a
or
roach.
some seahorses.
I'm saying I'm not a roach.
We can put them in scientific.
And God, but see, hold on, real quick.
That you used earlier today, when we were speaking about evolution, and we were saying in regards to speaking about evolution and keeping it simple, what you said was your mama had sex with your daddy.
True indeed.
And this is how you show.
That was in the beginning before God started talking about high science.
And God,
so when he said high science, I said, well, God, let's build on the aspect of there's organisms.
Well, God, and look, this what I think you gotta. This what you gotta take. This what you gotta take in note too, God. You have to be careful comparing the what we would call the human being to insects.
Nah, God, I wasn't comparing them. God, listen to what I said.
Well, I'm saying, God, the only reason I was saying
everything came from the original man.
Well, God, hold on. The only reason I was saying that you had to be careful comparing them. Well, God, the only reason. Listen. Well, God, listen. Hold on. This what I was saying is, God, the reason why you had to be careful is because because they have a different chemical structure. They're different. There's a different set of rules to insects than it is to what we would call a humanoid. You know what I'm saying?
I understand all of that, guys, so, and I'm not comparing it from that aspect. But if you say everything came from the original man's DNA being written, right?
If I would say that statement, I would emphasize what I'm saying is the original mind, because man is mind. When that statement was made, it was for a reason. Well, man is mind.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about a unicorn. These things exist. So, I mean, either we can build on it or we can't. I'm not talking about a unicorn. Like, I'm not talking about myth. We're talking about fact. These things, asexual creatures exist, bro.
No question.
That's all I'm saying.
No question. Let me take a couple comments too, God, real quick, man.
From my perspective, these things came from the original mind.
Ain't no question. That's all I've been saying, brother.
Yeah, ain't no question. So I like what a shout out to is it Nadir Salam said we had to be able to show and prove we out without a shadow of a doubt. I see a lot of guys shun academia. Like 120 doesn't allow you to BS the filter from the facts. Absolutely, fam. That's why we here. Cause you know I think it is a lot of brothers that kind of just get away from the academic conversation in general, man. So say Darwin got his ideas from the original man. I definitely say Darwin's racism is a ad hominem fallacy. I wouldn't say so, man, because I think that Darwin's racism, and I think that his theories and the science that he presented was heavily influenced based off of his personal beliefs, especially when you understand what he called the favored races, meaning that a lot of this science was based in public opinion, race opinion, as well as classism. So you have classes and racist ideas influencing what they call science. So that's why I would say that that was my point into his racism in terms of his science. And so go ahead.
Let me address the comment. Can you repeat that comment on
which
academia?
One? Oh, academia said we have to be able to show and prove without a shadow of a doubt. I see a lot of guys shun academia. Like 120 doesn't allow you to filter the BS from the facts.
Right. Who did that come from?
Nadir Salam on Facebook.
I would like to see how guys shun. Yeah, I would like to see how guys shun academia. I mean, especially any guys that's even striving to show and prove, because you have to go into academics to do it. However, because I'm the one that spoke on the academic world in regards to dealing
No,
with...
no. I don't think they was talking about us.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I spoke on the academic world, so I just want to kind of clarify when I say what I say in regards to dealing with specifically about evolution, you know, and just Darwinism.
Yeah.
And when you go into, like, okay, let's take for example, there was a conference just to show you where the state of Darwinism is at. It was a conference in London not too long ago. I forget the name of the conference. However, just to show you where the state of evolutionary biology is at, they know that what they call neo-Darwinism is like in a state of, it's just kind of like in trouble in regards to the ideology that it was holding because it's being challenged. The further science come along. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I keep saying in regards to the whole science of DNA and just, you know, just molecular biology.
Absolutely.
You know, they finding out that it's so complex in so many different ways that, you know, what Darwin used, I mean, it was a good theory. It is a good theory. It does hold weight. It can show and prove certain, you know, differences, you know, in the course of what we would call evolutionary, you know, evolvement. However, it doesn't hold weight in regards to dealing with different kinds of species, complete different species, and especially in such short time periods.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Now, God, and here's what be my thing with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know, and I seen somebody just say it in the comments, that the white man didn't evolve from natural selection, right? We can all agree on that. That we know that the Caucasian race and certain races of the world come from as a byproduct of selective breeding, and are hence could not be selective breeding in no way. The wisdom will destroy the degree. We talk about the doctors, ministers, and nurses to destroy the air-like and save the unalike, right? Which means to kill the black babies and save the brown babies. So if we know that, like, and we know that the white man even put his own birth record, and even when I was listening to Ken Hovitt, the creationist, and even he said it, dealing with the Bible, they put their own birth record at 6,000 years ago. So with that, God, whose fossil remains are these that we finding that's 60,000, 50,000, 80,000 years old in Kenya, God, with different bone structures, with different brain and cranial sizes, right? Painting animals, like when you deal with the Aborigines in Australia, God. I was just dealing with a documentary on Magellan TV where it talked about how the wall paintings in Australia are 50,000 years old. Some of them 60,000 years old. But yet, when they measure, they got measurements on the Australian island, God, of the Aborigines' feet, to where they was able to take measurements of these footprints and see that these motherfuckers, the bone structure was totally, just the way that they was built was just totally different. So I'm just saying, if we know these not the European, like who is this applying? When you deal with natural selection, you're talking about an individual developing over time through adaptation through the planet, meaning they had to learn, we had to learn how to deal with this type of environment. We got to hunt. It's cold. I just don't see who else will be going through that physical development over all these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years if the European isn't there. Like, what is that?
You saying, hold on, 50,000 years ago?
I'm just saying, even if we just deal with 50,000 years ago.
I'm saying, I thought you was dealing in regards to the paintings.
Well, the paintings and the writings are 50,000 years ago, but we can see based off of the skeletal remains as well as other remains of the so-called Aborigine people. You know, they physical structure isn't the same as the Aborigines today, God. Is what I'm saying, which is evidence of what could be called natural selection, or development over time based off of the environment or the conditions that you're living in as a people.
I would like to be able to, go into the exact, like, what were the remains that they found. what did they look like? Because a lot of times these individuals find fragments. And when we talk about fragments, I'm talking about fragments of a skull. And they will recreate an entire body. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, when it comes to dealing with, you know, a lot of these specimens, especially dealing with, the, you know, knowing the histories that these Europeans deal with. You know, if anybody know about Piltdown Man, you know what I'm saying, or Nebraska Man, you know, which we talked about earlier today. You know, I've always just been, you know, slow to deal with.
Well, God, here's the thing. Here's what I was gonna say. The thing that makes those skulls so significant is because from a skull we can then determine what was present in the brain versus what is present in the brain right now. Right? Like with Richard Leakey's work, where he deal with the Talmud boy, where the skeletal remains that they found in Kenya. They was able to ascertain and say, okay, because this position in the brain wasn't there, that they hadn't learned to deal with these types of tools or this type of development, to where like one of the examples he used where we see the evidence of man moving certain things from one place to another and them attributing that to brain development, God. That's all I'm saying. And the skeletal remains attributing to that evidence. That's all.
Aren't we back on Darwinism now?
No. I wouldn't say we back on Darwinism. No.
Yes, exactly we are.
I'm just respecting the guy in this.
Come on, guys.
Spooky. No, I'm joking. Don't beat me up. No, I mean, I get it. I get it, right?
No.
But listen,
I thought we was dealing with archaeology.
Do me a favor.
That's what I was dealing with.
You know we did, though? We went right into what the guy, or I'm sorry, I don't know. Like, what's the statement that they said about 120 and the academics? Go back and read it.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that was really,
they was really, right?
They was just giving us, they was honestly giving us props. Like,
I know
that a lot of guys get away from.
I think we kind of went into that though, right? Because again, we're talking about the two components of the culture is what? Showing and proving. And so when we're building on these different topics or these different components about what can help us or make us better, right? All I'm saying is that I'm not putting too much energy on something that can't really be shown and proven, right? When we talk about virtual principles or we talk about things that are going to be here because they always have been here, those should be key points. I mean, that's how it got to be broke down.
Well, and God, that's why you see me dealing with, you know, archaeological remains.
Dealing with the archaeological remains.
No doubt.
One of the issues that I have with that.
Yep.
Is when okay, we're talking about coding. DNA coding. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm emphasizing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, and okay, the cranial capacity of an orangutan. What is that in comparison to that of the original man? Was that in any of the findings?
Not that I know of. I could do the wrong stuff.
However, there's a difference, right?
Yes.
And they exist today. Those differences. If you was to observe the
brain of a orangutan to the brain of a human
or the skull, yes.
They according.
Ain't the biggest brain close to us a dolphin though?
However,
well, here's what I'll say. According to the
that's you, Darwin.
here's a quick little snippet. According to an article published by the National Library of Medicine's Center for Biotechnology, they say gorillas and orangutans are primates at least as twice as large as humans, but their brains amount to 1/3 of the size of a human brain.
That's today. That's today. This is our, would you say, our closest
brain?
No. What you call it? How did you term
I mean, so they would say, God. I don't really see it like that.
I mean,
so they would say, no, God. That wouldn't be the science that I was just talking about based off of the archaeology. No.
The brain, though, God, it's the dolphin, though, ain't it?
No.
What I'm saying is, what they were dealing with were differences in cranial size.
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah.
was supposed to be showing the differences in species of individuals.
Well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't go so far as to call them a species, God.
And the evolution.
Or the development.
The evolution
development.
over time. The
Absolutely.
development
Absolutely.
over time, which we call evolution. Over time.
Right.
Of this, of us.
Right. Right as that.
And this difference that you're saying was one specimen was one specimen and evolved into this other specimen, right?
Right.
And this happened over a course of how many years? Because what I'm saying is changes in DNA don't happen that slow.
God, from my research, it was at least 20 million years.
And like I said earlier, 70 million is a drop in the bucket in regards to how much time it would take the DNA to change from one specimen totally to another. I mean, it doesn't even show up in the fossil record. Anything that we can consider chronologically correct.
Well, God,
accurate.
well, that's why I said, for me, one of the best ways that, and it was really a nice breakdown when I heard the God go into that, where he went into, this was the science of, the original man searched for that so-called mystery God for trillions of years. Mm-hmm. And the question was asked, how do you search for trillions of years? And that searching for trillions of years is the process of becoming in the physical form who we are here today. From that development of making man, the original man making himself manifest 66 trillion, 77 trillion years ago, or 66 trillion years ago, with the creation of the planet. So it's like, how does that, in terms of, understanding of how to live and how to build and be on this planet. You know what I'm saying? And up until, founding civilization. So, God, let me take a couple questions real quick, man, because I know we've been saying. Come on, God, huh? Hold on. Let me take these questions real quick. Let me take these questions really quick. So, okay, here we go. So, supreme scientists said the mind doesn't exist without a body. Otherwise, mind equals mystery God. Advocating that God is a righteous, unseen being, I would love to hear the definition of what a mind is.
So when you say body, what does it mean?
Okay.
Like some type of conduit?
No, the mind, there's no such thing as a mind without a body.
Oh, shit.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
I mean, the atom is a body.
Oh, shit.
It's energy.
Okay, so hold on. What
It
device?
produces.
Okay, so what device do we have?
That's like electricity.
Okay,
Now,
so
because you can't see it with the physical eye, doesn't mean that
Just a quick question.
It doesn't exist.
Quick question. This is gonna be a whole nother. This is gonna be a whole nother.
Go ahead, guys.
This is gonna be a whole nother bill, and we're gonna come back for it, right? What device do we have to separate mind, intelligence, energy, force, power, and what the spookies call God, Jesus? What what device do we have to separate that?
There's no separation.
Okay, well if we ain't got no, okay, so if it's all one,
I was
then
gonna say mathematics.
Let's build. Everything vibrate. No. Everything vibrate on a different level, God. We vibrating on the highest. You can't say that mind and energy ain't vibrating outside of a body. Come on now, that don't make sense.
No.
Oh, now that's gonna go into the show.
You can't say mind. Listen, God.
You can't say mind. God, you can't say mind and energy and intelligence ain't operating outside of a body. Come on now.
Do you know what an atom is?
I do. And do you understand that there's things that, and do you understand there's things called subatomic particles before atoms, God?
Hold on, no.
So you can't say that mind. What you mean? They make up the atom.
No.
Okay, hold on.
That's a whole nother bill.
No.
That's a whole.
They're called sub.
So you saying the atom is the beginning then?
It just breaks down. It's like an inch,
Lord.
and breaking an inch down, it's like you're breaking the space down.
Do you understand there's particles smaller than the atom and that's not made of the atom that has
I mean,
intelligence?
they call quarks. or whatnot.
So you can't say that Adam is the beginning of.
These are all you breaking Adam down.
Hold on, real quick, God. One at a time,
And they're
God.
all about. You have to identify. How do you identify it? You identify it because of an effect that you can observe. If you can't observe this effect, then you can't even determine the cause of it. And you call the cause of it, huh? You can see the effects. You can see the effects under certain circumstances. That's what the God means.
Okay, you can see Adam under some circumstances.
But I mean, the Adam is the body. But that's the body. All of those are the body.
God, we cannot say that the mind, intelligence, and energy.
Let the guy respond. Let the guy respond.
We cannot say that the mind, intelligence, and energy do not exist without a body. Come on now. Now, if we're talking about a body in the sense of being synonymous with a conduit, I'll agree with that. Okay?
You have to have a conduit.
But there's other conduits than bodies, God. Are you saying you don't see electricity without the body? Because put the light bulb up there.
That's the body.
That's a conduit. You said the body in regards to a human being, though.
So, God, hold on.
So, okay. So, do you agree? Okay. So, hold on. Answer this question, God. Because maybe we saying the same thing, God. No. Maybe we saying the same thing.
What I want to do is
Are you
make
saying
sure
the body is a conduit?
Yeah.
Are you saying the body is a conduit, God?
Of course it's a conduit.
Okay, well there it is then. We saying the same thing.
Body can do it.
Mind, intelligence, and energy cannot exist without the conduit. Okay, I'm with that.
No. What
When
it is?
you said body, I thought you were talking like a human being.
Well, I wanted to take the rest of these questions real quick. What are your thoughts on the tribe of Shabazz? That was the next question that we had, man.
I'll be back.
Why you said? I did have somebody inbox message me saying, can they get in on the live? We must be getting it going, man. We trying to inbox us. Good
You
God.
said an hour, man. It's time to go.
Yeah, we is getting about on an hour, man. That's why I'm trying to take all the questions.
I see you making it hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the guy said it when we picked the subject, man. That it was definitely gonna get spicy, man. It was definitely gonna get.
Tell me, he's gonna say, come on, show us about some books. That's what we're doing in the city of Detroit. He's talking about courts and top I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Yo, man. So
we trained to be impromptu. It's good.
Yeah, it's all love, man. So, yo, really quick, man. The tribe of Shabazz, man. That's a teaching that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came with. I got my own thoughts on it. I think it's a science in general, man. For me personally, that I see that as that's the proof of how we show and prove that at least from Elijah's perspective, that the root of civilization, God, is not in Africa, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because based off of what Elijah taught about the tribe of Shabazz, he said that Shabazz was a scientist, and that Shabazz was the one who said that he wanted to go and conquer the jungles of Africa, and that the scientists told him that he could do it, but he took his people and he could go do that. So in the way Elijah said it, that's where we got the kinky hair and different features that's unique to the African continent. So for me, if that's where Shabazz went to go civilize, then where was the root of civilization? Meaning the root of with the knowledge and wisdom. Just in terms of the teachings and what Elijah taught. That's just what me.
Yeah, I can see
what
I can
Shabazz
see
gave me. You know what I'm saying?
In regards to number one, when we're talking about that time period, that long ago, it wouldn't even, the word Africa wouldn't even have been being used, and he would have described that portion of the earth in regards to whatever language that he spoke. And at that particular time, I would think that the landmass was probably totally different, especially in regards to if you want to try to bring Mecca or Arabia, not saying you particularly, but anyone strives to bring, Arabia into the equation, that being something that was only separated by the body of Africa, by the Red Sea, wouldn't even have been considered a different part of the land. You understand what I'm saying? So it would have all been considered, whatever it would have been considered, and I'm sure it wouldn't have been considered Africa or Arabia. You understand? So to say that the original man would have went to that part of the land, and it's a lot of jungle area in that area, and however that long ago, I mean, I would have to draw it up to even determine whether or not that area probably would have been jungle at that particular time. You know, because, you know, something like you said earlier today, when you spoke about the carvings that was like 50,000 years old, and that being something that was a marker in regards to the civilization of the evolution, saying something about the people, you know, I'm thinking about the Sphinx. The first thing that came into my mind with the Sphinx, and being the Sphinx, you know, got at least 20,000 years on it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just based on, you know, weather patterns that the Sphinx shows. And if you had a civilization that was that advanced to build something like the Sphinx that long ago, and we're talking about carvings on the wall, you know what I'm saying, of like, you know, drawings of like, you know, oxes or whatever, I think that's pretty minute in regards to the science that you would have been seeing that would have probably been predating that time by like, what, maybe 10, 20,000 years. I think that's like a hell of a jump if you're saying that, like, this is where they were at in their evolution, you know what I'm saying? Then later on, 10, 20,000 years ago, they was building shit like this. I mean, like, that's a hell of a, you know.
What you about to say? Come on, guy. And we're going to get it.
Yeah, just real quick. Again, you know, I'm going to be unorthodox about it. You know, I'm looking at it as a mindset. Like, I like to build on what you said about just who Shabazz was and what he did, right? When I look at the jungle, I'm looking at the neighborhoods. I'm looking at the hood, right? And so if I'm looking at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling me this is the cloth that we're cut from, right? This is the mindset and the thought that I'm taking, right? That I'm going to go in and I'm going to civilize the jungle. Again, I'm born in 84. I don't know, you know, who was there doing what, you know. So I have to look at this from a metaphorical, allegorical, and mathematical standpoint, right? And so we're talking about a tribe. This is look at the word tribe. This is entwined, people that stick together, right? And it's something we need to, you know, do in the urban community today to, you know, make it a little bit better. Peace.
Word. Peace
Let's jump on the way out the door.
Yeah, peace to the God. No, I like that. Word. Where my button at?
You got no questions over there?
Give you the button for that one, man. I do got a question. I think we just got something. Let's see what that comment was. 17 on YouTube says Spencer Wells, a geneticist working with the National Geographic, did a study taking DNA samples around the world to find the origin of man. Found that using the Y chromosome, found that 50 to 60,000. I'm sure it's something coming. Years ago that gene mutated. Okay, all right. And I think I had one on YouTube, on Instagram as well. Peace. Yeah. ASAP Looney. Yeah, the guys is definitely on this crypto wave. Yeah, we definitely on that. I got that question. I thought it was one more. It's on IG. No. So yeah, man. Look, man, we about to get ready to get up out of here. Cause we know the bill about to keep going in the private stuff. We try to keep this thing going at least an hour, man. And then, you know, when the bills get good, it get to going fast. That hour hit a little faster than it usually did, don't it? I see. Yeah. So, yo, that's it. That's what I thought about when I learned about the tribe of Shabazz. Okay, no doubt. I can see that. Yeah. Hit us up. ASAP Looney, man. Hit us up in the inbox. Inbox the 5% connection, man. We definitely can build. Listen, man, if you enjoyed the build, if you enjoyed the stream, man, make sure you hit the follow button or you like or subscribe. If you on YouTube or you on Facebook, man. Also, man, if you want to support us, go to the 5%connection.live/tips, man, and you can support the channel. You can also check out our merch, man, at the knowledgeofselfstore.com. We got you. We got the God and Earth Hour podcast merch, man, and the 1964 apparel, man. We also got the Nectar of the Gods. You can get some of all of that. Hit us up. Get yourself right. Get yourself together, man. So, listen, man, we appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, man. What does the flag mean next to your name on Facebook? The universal flag? Yeah. Yeah, that's the universal flag, man. I mean, on Instagram, you know, that's our universal flag. Peace, guys. God say man, woman, and child. I like that. You know what I'm saying? The universe, the sun, moon, and stars. You know, with the 7 in the middle, man. And the 7 represents the black man, who is God. You know what I'm saying? Word. So that's that. Yeah. So, guys, man, any closing statements, God, that y'all want to drop? True, Johnny? I see you want to go first?
Well, I just want to say peace to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was lovely. I love the build. You know, it was informative, you know, enlightening, you know. It was a spark that I needed, you know what I mean? You know, I enjoyed tonight, you know. I hope everybody else did, you know. Y'all come on back, continue to support, you know, and peace.
Yeah, man. Hey, I seen somebody talking about they got a question, man. You better add it.
I just want to say just real quick before they question come, man. Like steel sharpens steel, man. Like I've been on the airways for like the past 6 months talking about frivolous things, man. And this is like the real most fulfilling, thought-provoking conversation I've had in a while, man. Like it's God. Like, man, there's nothing like being around the gods, man, and just taking it to the heavens, man. And listen, I'm definitely down to come back. I love the environment. I love the camaraderie. You know, I mean, y'all my bros anyway, so you know, love it, man.
Peace. Peace to the God.
Peace. Yeah.
So look forward to you coming back too.
Yeah, hell yeah, God. We would definitely like to have you come back, man. It's definitely been a pleasure, man. And God, was it anything that you want to drop, man, that's just you doing in the community or that you got going on, any events, anything like that you might want to add on? Yeah, I just tell y'all to check out, man, www.thecream.org. Type it into Google, you know, see some of the great things that we doing in the community with our donation giveaways, our LLC, S-Corp, nonprofit startups for free. You know, this is just our way to fortify the urban community from, you know, economic standpoint, man. You know, type it in, check it out, support us. See what area we in. We in Detroit, Inkster, Ypsilanti, Tampa. You know, tap in. Peace. Peace, God. Peace to the God.
Y'all make sure y'all do the knowledge to that. You know, check it out.
That's right. Peace to the God. So, did have a couple of little questions that just came late. Ruler Divine said, "Where's the Earth at in your universal flag?" Okay.
When you see that moon, there's a whole cipher there, God. You understand what I'm saying? When you can look at it from the whole cipher perspective, that's the portion that's the Earth. Because you have, at one point, you got the moon and the Earth was separated, God. So they weren't the same. You just got to be able to look at it from the whole cipher. You understand what I'm saying, God? It's visualization.
No, that's right.
Or God, you can look at it as one of the points around the sun.
Come on with it, I see. Peace to the gods, yo. Peace. Peace Preem on YouTube, man. Peace District 120 Music. Brooklyn 1798B24, man. I don't know whose page you talking about. I don't know if you talking about the 5% connection, but it ain't no other flag or anything on our page. So if you can, man, just inbox us, man, because we about to get ready to get up out of here. So yeah. So yeah, man, to everybody that's been tuning in, man, yeah, thank y'all for all of the comments, man, and being so engaged and adding on with us, man. It's definitely been an absolute pleasure. Peace to everybody that's on TikTok that's tuning in and that's rhyming in with us. Peace to everybody that's on Instagram, Facebook. Yo, it's definitely been live, man, and we appreciate it. If you wasn't able to catch the whole episode, make sure that you get with us on Spotify, or that you following us on Facebook, man, and YouTube. The whole live stream will be up on there. Peace, Born King. Hit me up, man. Hit me up after the bill, God. And make sure, man, you tap in with us and go listen to the whole episode, man. If you enjoy, send us a like, send us a follow, write us a review, man. Other than that, we're going to leave y'all in the